To get started with the Astryx design library from Meta, we're going to create a new Next application here. We're going to call it My Astryx App. We're going to be running TypeScript, the app router, source directory, no Tailwind, and no ESLint. That's set up, so we're going to cd into our project. We're going to install these libraries, the AsterixDesignCore library. That's the entire design system. The theme neutral, it's just a theme that's available to us. Hero icons, because they use it, so I'm going to use it. And then StyleX, which is a CSS in JavaScript library. Okay, that's set up, so we're going to open up Zed. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kill these agent files. We don't need them. I'm going to jump into our source app. We also don't need this page modules file. Here in our global CSS, we're going to kill everything. We're just going to bring in these core CSS elements from Asterix design. So we got a reset Asterix, and then we've got our theme neutral theme.css. We're going to jump into our layout. We're going to kill everything that's there. We're going to drop in a very generic root layout component here. There's nothing Asterix specific. I am going to need to create this providers component, so I'll do that now. Okay, that's going to be use client. Now we're bringing in just a type from React Node, but also our theme, for our theme component from core, and then the neutral theme from theme neutral. It's important that you have this built bit here. You do need the pre-compiled version. We're going to export a function called providers. And that's just going to take in children to be a type of React Node. We're going to return a theme. Inside of that, we'll have our children. And on this theme, we'll have an attribute of theme, and we'll say, neutral theme. And then we're going to have mode, and that's going to be equal to system for now. So that's your light, dark, or system mode. So we're going to save that. And now if we jump over to our layout, our little error is gone. Now our primary component is going to live in this components directory, and it's going to be called Kanban board.tsx. So there is a demo UI in the Astryx library in their documentation. It's very similar to this, the Kanban board. But it's all in one file, and it doesn't really touch on a lot of the features available to you in Asterix. So we're going to rebuild that UI with a whole bunch of added features, and we're going to build it out very modularly. Okay, so this is going to be use client, and we're bringing in card from AsterixDesignCore/card, and then heading and text from text. So there is a CLI tool that'll tell you where all these things are, but you do end up having to call the very specific component file for the component that you're looking for. And here we're going to export a default function called Kanban board. And that's pretty close. We're going to have a card. We're going to give it a padding of 4. So you're going to see a lot of these types of props that represent design tokens throughout this course. So padding is one of them. We'll be diving more into that stuff later. On heading, we can go level 2. So it's like an H2. And on text, we're going to say color is secondary. Again, another design token, very similar to other things you might have used. So rather than primary, this is a secondary. There's also an accent and all of that good stuff. Okay, we're going to save that. And then the last thing we're going to do is jump over to our page.tsx. We're going to kill everything that's there. And we're just going to drop in our Kanban board, and we're going to render that. So let's see if our application is working. So we're going to npm run dev. That should be on localhost 3000. And there's our Kanban board. So we've got a nice, very simple little shell. In the next lesson, we're going to use a bunch of primitives to start making this more of a layout. We'll touch on layouts and headers and sections, and more interestingly, H stacks and V stacks and things of that nature.